Hi, I'm Casey Truby, the Lonesome Cowboy. In the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how you can turn your current business, the one you already own, into a cash cow. Now, the first step is to just stop doing bookkeeping. That's going to save you $1,000 to $2,000 a month right out the bat. And if you have a full-time bookkeeper working for you, you're going to save between $30,000 and $50,000 a year in total overhead burden rate. The second step, stop dealing with bookkeeping headaches. You don't need those employee headaches or management headaches or buy new software headaches. Move all of that out of your office. Focus your time, your energy, and your efforts on rounding up more happy customers. And then the third step is to get good numbers that you use every day. I recommend our local accountant who can handle your books on an outsourced basis. Let them take care of it. But more important, make sure they visit with you 15 minutes a week to kind of explain what's going on in your business, using that 80-20 rule. Where are we really doing things that work? And here's what's going to happen. In the next 120 to 180 days, you're going to become a cash cow. That'll probably double your pay. I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit more about it. Stand by. Now, I'm not an accountant, I'm a rancher. This is my barn out here. But I'm also a business owner just like you are. Over the last 40 years, I've owned 7 businesses. 5 of them were good and I sold them at a profit. 2 of them were brilliant. They were brilliant examples of what you should never do. And I learned everything I know about bad cash flow from those 2 brilliant examples. I got experience. And you know what that is? Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So one day I'm arguing with my CPA about how much he charges me and explaining that I shouldn't pay as much because I'm not making that much money. And I got to tell you, John just looks right at me and he says, Casey, the reason that you struggle, the reason you only make a fraction of what a salesman like you should be doing is because you don't think accounting's worth anything. You don't like it, you don't use it, and most of all, you don't even want to pay me for it. And every time you have one of your brilliant failures, I could tell it was coming 6 months before you started bouncing checks. I see your numbers and you keep making the same 3 mistakes. And John goes on to tell me, he says, you work too hard, 100 hours a week, but it's never on the right thing. You're working on squeaky wheels and low margin customers, employees that should have been fired, or details that someone else could take care of instead of you spending your valuable time on it. And the other mistake I see you make is you sell too much. 80% of the products you carry, the services you do, generate about 20% of the revenue, but you've got to train, you've got to inventory, you've got a warehouse and store. That's ridiculous. You sell way too much. But the worst mistake of all is that you've got too many customers, too many bad customers. And John's telling me, he says, these customers of yours, they beat you up on price, or they don't want to pay you on time, or once they get done, they want you to do a little bit more for free. And you take those bad boys just so you can keep your staff busy. Casey, if you want a cash cow business, why don't you start with accounting? Then you can see how and where to get rich instead of all this struggle. But John, I kind of whined. I hate dealing with numbers and details. I just want to run a business. Well, on that day, 12 years ago, John taught me something I didn't know. John turned around and called a friend of his, Barbara, a work-at-home bookkeeper, who was looking for somebody just like me. She wanted to be a bookkeeper, but didn't want to come into the office. And outsourcing was born. It changed my life. It was great because starting right then, I got good numbers every day. And I stopped putting my time and my effort into things that didn't work. Advertising that didn't pull, customers that didn't give me the good margins, because I had good numbers immediately. The second thing is I had 100% accurate control on my expenses. Barbara sent me a daily report on all the money out. It took me 1 minute to look at it, but I'll tell you, we wrenched down the money going out. And collections, now I knew exactly what was happening. This was wonderful. But then I got the third thing. John started using these numbers with Barbara. He called me for 15 minutes on the phone once a week, and he kept me focused on working on those things that made money. 80% of what a guy does in business is a total waste. It's busy work. Well, that means 10-hour day, 2 hours you make money, 8 hours. Well, you know what you're doing for those 8 hours. In a few months, my cash flow doubled. And in a few years, we became rich. Now, this outsourcing process got a lot better over the years. A few years ago, I even sat down and wrote a software program called Paperless Overnight Workflow. And that was to take a client paperless, a business paperless, working through their accountant so that I didn't have any documents, but they were able to get the work done faster, better, and cheaper. Today, several hundred accountants use this system all over the nation for thousands and thousands of small business owners, people with sales of a couple $100,000 a year, all the way up to maybe 5 or 10 million is our largest client. So if you're in that group and you're looking for a way to cut cost, and you'd certainly like to be able to focus a lot more energy on where you're making money, then consider outsourcing. Here's how to get more information. Click on any of these boxes and you'll get the CD-ROM by mail. Now, they're not going to rush out and make a big sales pitch on you because these are accountants and good Lord, we know that they can't sell. So they'll just mail you the CD-ROM. There'll be an invitation to attend the next live demonstration that I do up here from the barn. And hopefully if all that works out and it sounds like it might be the right way for you to go, then over the next week or so you can check with our local accountant and find out how much it would cost for your business. Go ahead and get the CD-ROM. This is Casey Truby, lonesome cowboy up here in the cold and windy state of Wyoming, and let's keep that cash register ringing.